Welcome to HortTube. My name is Jim Putnam. This is the 10th video in my 2018 backyard plant propagation video series. I've moved over here to the garden center this week while I wait for some things to get rooted in the little greenhouse at my house. I wanted to show you, last week I showed you potting up some 1 gallons from our rooted cuttings, and I wanted to show the next step that I do once they're fully mature in a gallon pot. For those of you who don't know, I had a wholesale nursery for about 20 years and I've closed it down last fall actually, and I've moved a lot of the material up here to my garden center, and I still have thousands of 1 gallon plants from last year's nursery production from our rooted cuttings from the previous year. When I root cuttings, I actually leave the majority of them over winter in the house, and then I bring them out the next spring and I plant them into these trade gallon pots. And we grow them out for that season. This is a sky pencil holly here. This is a very nice one. From here, we use the potting mix that I showed last week, which is the aged pine bark mixed with sand, and it has some lime in it as well to raise the pH some, because the pH is, I don't know what it is in this aged pine bark. It's probably 4.5 or something without that lime. This is 30 yards I got in this week. When we had it down at the nursery, we had the capacity to elevate it so people could stand up while they pot, but I really don't have that option right this minute, so just kind of sitting around this pile and potting these trade gallons up into 3 gallon material. I'm planting pretty late in summer, so I'm actually going ahead and I'm planting them, cutting them off a little bit, and then I am going ahead and putting them pot to pot, meaning there's no space between them. Normally you need to space your plants a little bit to give them room to for lots of reasons. Air movement around them, space to grow, to form their natural shapes, not to grow into one another, all kinds of reasons why you would have them spaced. But this time of year, I'm just making the decision that I'm not going to finish this plant this year, so I'm going to go ahead and put it in a position to be covered for the winter and not have to move it again later. So that's what I have going on there. But the process on this, I actually have a scoop that I used rather than my hands, but I'll show you. I put the potting mix in here, maybe 4 or 5 inches, and then I want a little bit of a lip on this container. When I'm finished with it, I want to be able to have about 1 inch so I can put my thumb inside that container. These have been in these containers, these 1 gallon containers, for a year, so they're quite root bound. So have to bust them up quite a bit to get them out of these containers. And then the roots are really very tight on these, so they need to be cut. And so we just take a knife and from the top to the bottom, cut them here, cut them here, and cut them here. I can get in here and do it this way, you know, with my fingers, and get pretty aggressive with them like this and pull them apart, but it really is, at the end of the day, it's easier. I'm in a controlled environment. I'm not putting them in the ground, so I'll be able to manage the water and everything on them, and I can damage the roots a little more confidently when I'm planting like this. But again, I want to get those really going out from there, from circling like they are right now. Okay, that should work. We definitely don't want them wrapping in the future. Again, I set it in there and see where it's going to be about 1 inch below the top of that container. A lot of machines are filling pots now with soil mix, and they're filling them right to the very top, and it is very hard for the humans that then have to deal with them to be able to carry them around. So if you're doing this by hand, do it so it's easier on you later. I'm going to raise him up just a bit, and like I always talk about, we want to make sure it's straight, want to make sure it's centered, and don't cover anything that's not covered. Every step of gardening, from the beginning to the end, we don't want to cover anything that's not covered, except for specialty things, you know, tomatoes and some vegetable crops. And there are some things you can plant deep, but for the most part, most of the things I'm ever going to talk about on this channel, perennials and flowering shrubs and flowering trees, we don't want to ever bury any wood that wasn't buried initially right from the time that it rooted. So again, I can see the top of that. I've got my fertilizer here, the slow release fertilizer. This is a 12-month fertilizer. I guarantee you somewhere there's a nursery near you that will mix some soil mix for you, or sell you some of their soil mix, or tell you where they're getting their soil mix so that you can acquire this. This is not that expensive, honestly. I can plant in a day almost double. I can I can create enough value in these 3-gallon containers in one day, almost double what I paid for this 30 yards of bark mix here. So just letting you know, it's really not that expensive considering what you can get out of one, you know, a finished 3-gallon plant, what you can sell it for. But anyway, it goes in a container like that. I don't cover anything that's not covered. I busted the roots. Fertilizer is going around it. Like I say, the fertilizer needs to go all the way around it, not just on one side of it. And I'll show you some things that I got planted yesterday. Here's some 1-gallon Nellie Stevens hollies that are over here next to the pile to get planted today. Here's a close-up of this bark mix again. And there's some chunky material in there, but it's all been aged for about a year. And like I say, there's some sand blended into it, so the containers have some weight on them. And there's the sky pencil holly I just planted. These were pruned recently, right here at the top. You see that, where it was pruned off flat? If it wasn't, I would be pruning it right now. I will prune them when I plant them. Same as I do in my yard frequently. When I plant something in the ground, I'll take some of the top off of it to compensate for the damage that I did to those roots. There's some Jack Frost ligustrum that were done a couple days ago. That's a large growing ligustrum. Works well as a screening plant. It grows a little too slow, unfortunately, for my liking. It'll get big enough, but it takes too long. And these are sky pencil hollies that were done yesterday. That's about 140 pieces in a half a day right there. But like I say, I went ahead and put them pot to pot like this. They haven't been fertilized yet. They need to be fertilized, but they're pot to pot and ready for the cover for the winter time. They'll get spaced in the spring and pruned again, and will come out pretty quickly in the spring and finish off probably you know, they'll get a flush right now. They're going to get a nice flush here in August and September, and then one additional flush in the spring should finish them off. So there's a real quick look at how you know, you've seen me stick rooted cuttings. You've seen me take them out of the house. You saw me last week put them into 1-gallon pots. Like I say, normally I'm going to stick cuttings in the summertime. Things that grow really, really quickly and get rooted really, really quickly, some of those things get planted that same year, but most of the time I overwinter them in a house that following March or April as we're warming up in my area, getting past the frost-free dates. They go into these trade gallon containers, and they'll spend most of that season in there. Once they're finished in there, I plant them into 3s. I'll sometimes hold plants back in 1-gallon containers for extended periods of time if I don't need them, or I'll try to sell them to somebody else, that kind of thing. But I've ended up with, I don't know, thousands of 1-gallon plants here that I need to pot up. So that's what I'm in the process of doing, and I thought it would be interesting to show you. Thank you very much for watching this video. I'll come back with another backyard plant propagation video when some of the things in the house are rooted, and I'll show you how I can handle those, and which ones of those I might pot up this year, which ones I won't, and how I go about overwintering them. Thanks for watching as always, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'll sometimes hold